The day after the simulation, the Academy buzzed with excitement. Everyone talked about Captain Kim's victory, how his team of failing first-years had defeated Commander Park's elite cadets, how the human had outsmarted the Cronus. In the main hall, cadets gathered for a special assembly. The Academy director stood on the stage with Commander Park and Captain Kim. "Yesterday, we witnessed something remarkable," the director said. His silver skin shimmered in the light, a victory that challenges our traditional thinking. The crowd was silent, waiting. Even the teachers looked interested. For centuries, the Academy has taught one way of warfare, the way of the strongest species, the direct approach. The director gestured to Park. Commander Park represents the best of this tradition. Park stood stiffly, his yellow eyes focused straight ahead. But Captain Kim showed us another way. The director turned to June. A way that uses different strengths. Intelligence, adaptability, teamwork. Kim's 20 cadets sat in the front row. No longer did they hide in the back. No longer did they look down in shame. They sat tall, proud of what they had accomplished. "Today, I announced 2 changes," the director continued. "First, Captain Kim will become our new head of tactical training." Surprised whispers spread through the crowd. This was a senior position, never before held by a human. "Second, we will revise our training programs to include what I am calling adaptive warfare, the human approach." The whispers grew louder. Many cadets looked excited. Some of the older teachers frowned. After the assembly, Commander Park approached Captain Kim in a quiet corner. "You humiliated me," Park said, his deep voice low. "That wasn't my intent," Jun replied calmly. "No." Park's massive hands clenched into fists. For a moment, Jun thought the Cronus might strike him. Instead, Park took a deep breath. "What was your intent?" "To show a different kind of strength," Jun said. "Not to replace yours, but to add to it." Park was quiet for a long moment. "The Cronus do not easily admit when we are wrong. It is not in our nature." "It's not in human nature either," Jun said with a small smile. "Yet here we are." Park extended his hand, a human gesture he must have learned. "I asked why humans sit in the back. You showed me." Jun shook the massive hand. "Sometimes the back gives you the best view of everything." Later that day, Jun met with his team in their new training room. It was large and well-equipped, nothing like the small spaces they had used before. "I'm proud of you all," Jun told them. "Each of you found your strength and used it." Han-ji, once so quiet and afraid, now stood confident. "What happens now, Captain?" "Now we keep training. The director wants us to teach others." Su-min grinned. "The bottom 20 becomes the top instructors. I like it." "What about Commander Park?" Gilwoo asked, blinking his 6 eyes nervously. "Is he still angry?" "Commander Park is a warrior," Jun said. "He respects strength, even when it looks different from his own." Medical Officer Yoon, he joined them, smiling. "The commander has requested to learn your methods, Captain Kim. He wants to combine Cronus strength with human adaptability." "And the other teachers?" Jun asked. "Some are resistant, others are curious." Yoon, he looked around at the cadets. "But all the students want to train like you now." Jin Soo, the once spy who had fully joined their team, asked the question everyone was thinking. Why did humans let themselves be pushed to the back for so long? If you knew these methods worked, why wait? Jun looked at each of his cadets before answering. "Sometimes you need to wait for the right moment. Sometimes you need others to underestimate you. And sometimes," Han-ji added with new confidence, "you need someone to show you your own strength." Outside the window, the 3 suns of the Academy world were setting. In the fading light, humans and aliens worked together, learning from each other. No species at the back, no species at the front. Just different kinds of strength, finally recognized. The next morning, all Academy staff gathered in the main hall. The room was huge, with high ceilings and walls covered in battle maps from 100 worlds. Captain Jun Kim stood quietly near the back wall. He had slept little, thinking about Commander Park's words. Commander Park walked to the center of the room. His heavy footsteps echoed. The four yellow eyes scanned everyone before stopping on June. "I have been thinking about our teaching methods," Park said. His deep voice filled the hall. "Perhaps we have become too set in our ways." The other teachers looked at each other in confusion. The Galactic Academy had used the same training methods for over 500 years. Why change now? "Captain Kim," Park said suddenly. "Come forward." June walked to the center. Next to the massive Cronus warrior, he looked small and weak. Some of the alien teachers made small sounds that might have been laughter. "Captain Kim is new to our staff," Park continued, "but he has fought in 12 major battles. He has saved 3 planets. He has won the Star of Valor." Now the room was silent. Many did not know about June's record. "Yet I have given him meal duty." Park's mouth curved into what humans would call a smile, but it showed too many sharp teeth. "Why?" "Because he is human. Because humans are not as strong as Cronus, as fast as Vex, or as wise as Elori." Medical Officer Yoon, he stepped forward. "Commander, is this necessary?" Park held up a hand to stop her. "But perhaps I have been unfair. Perhaps we all have." The commander turned to face June directly. "Captain Kim, I offer you a challenge. In 2 weeks, we hold our midterm training exercise. Teams of cadets face each other in battle simulations. I will lead the top team. You will lead a team of your choice." Whispers filled the room. This was not normal. Staff usually only watched these exercises. They did not take part. "If your team beats mine," Park continued, "I will give you any teaching position you want, and I will personally make sure humans get more respect in the academy." "And if I lose?" June asked quietly. "Then you keep meal duty. And we all know for sure that humans belong in the back." The room was completely silent now. Everyone watched June. The challenge was clearly unfair. Commander Park was the Academy's best warrior. His team would be the best cadets. How could June possibly win? "I accept," June said simply. Park's yellow eyes widened slightly, then narrowed. "Good. You may choose any first-year cadets for your team. I will take the 3rd years." More whispers. First years against 3rd years? Impossible. The older cadets had 2 more years of training. "One more thing," Park added. "Instead of choosing the top first-year cadets, you will take the bottom 20, the ones who are failing." Now the alien teachers didn't bother to hide their laughter. This wasn't a challenge. It was a joke. "Do you still accept?" Park asked, his voice mocking. June looked around the room. At the laughing teachers, at Yoon-hee's worried face, at Commander Park's confident smile. "Yes," June said, "I still accept." Park seemed surprised for a moment, then pleased. "The simulation will test all combat skills. Strategy, strength, speed, teamwork. My team will show no mercy." "I wouldn't want them to," June replied. Later, as they left the hall, Yoon-hee caught up with June. "That was brave, but maybe not smart," she said. "Those failing students, there's a reason they're failing." "Maybe they just haven't had the right teacher," June said. "Park wants to humiliate you, to humiliate all humans." June nodded. "I know. So why accept such an unfair challenge?" For the first time since arriving at the academy, June smiled. "Because sometimes, Dr. Yoon, the best place to be is where everyone underestimates you." Captain Jun Kim stepped off the transport ship and looked up at the massive building in front of him. The Galactic Military Academy gleamed in the light of 3 suns. Its metal towers reached toward the purple sky. June took a deep breath. After 15 years of fighting on the edges of the galaxy, he was now going to teach. Captain Kim, human from Earth. A tall blue alien with 4 arms checked a tablet. "Yes, that's me," Jun said. "Follow me. You're late for the staff meeting." Jun grabbed his bag and hurried after the alien. He had fought in 12 major battles. He had saved 3 planets from invasion. He had even been given the Star of Valor, the highest award in the Galactic Federation. But here, at the Academy, none of that seemed to matter. The meeting room was filled with beings from 20 different planets. Some had scales, others had fur. Some floated above their chairs, while others needed special seats for their unusual bodies. June was the only human. "Ah, the human has arrived," said a deep voice from the head of the table. "Please, take a seat in the back." The speaker was Commander Toppark, a Cronus warrior. The Cronus were known across the galaxy for their strength and battle skills. They stood nearly 8 feet tall, with thick gray skin that could stop small weapons. Their 4 yellow eyes could see in almost any light. June nodded politely and took the empty seat in the far corner. It was always like this. Humans were part of the Galactic Federation for over 100 years, but they were still treated like newcomers. Commander Park continued the meeting. "As you know, this academy trains the best warriors in the galaxy. Our job is to make sure they are ready for anything." He assigned teaching positions to each staff member. The powerful Drakari would teach hand-to-hand combat. The quick-thinking Vex would teach space battle tactics. The ancient Ilori would teach strategy. Finally, Park looked at June. "Captain Kim, you will assist with basic skills and supervise mealtimes." June's face showed nothing, but inside he felt a flash of anger. Meal duty, after all his experience. "Excuse me, Commander," said a female voice. June turned to see a small, green-skinned woman with large silver eyes. According to Captain Kim's file, he has more actual battle experience than half the staff combined. Perhaps he could teach tactical defense. Commander Park frowned. "Thank you, Medical Officer Yoon-hee, but I've made my decision." After the meeting, June walked to his small room. The walls were plain, the bed too short for even his human height. He unpacked his few belongings, including a metal case he placed on a shelf. There was a knock at his door. It was Commander Park. "Captain Kim." The Cronus warrior had to duck to enter the room. "I noticed you didn't object to your assignment." "It wasn't my place to object, Commander." Park's yellow eyes narrowed. "I've read your file. Impressive, for a human. Yet I still wonder why your kind is even in the Federation. You're not strong like a Cronus, fast like the Vex, or wise like the Ilori. You're just average." June met Park's gaze calmly. "We have our qualities, Commander. Such as, with respect, sir, perhaps that's something best demonstrated rather than explained." Park laughed, a sound like rocks falling down a mountain. "I've been watching humans get pushed around for years. None of you ever push back. Why do you always sit in the back? Why do you accept being treated as less? Maybe we're just waiting for the right moment, sir." Park stared at June for a long moment. Then his mouth split into what might have been a smile. "Captain Kim, I think I may have an interesting challenge for you." June didn't smile back. But inside, something sparked to life. A chance to show what humans could really do. Commander Park watched from the control room as his team marched toward Kim's command center. His yellow eyes narrowed with focus. "They're running scared," he said to the Academy Director. "My team will end this quickly." Medical Officer Yoon, he wasn't so sure. "Captain Kim doesn't look worried," she said, pointing to a screen where Kim and Hanji were calmly watching their own displays. On the battlefield, Senior Cadet Zahn led Park's team through a narrow canyon. Tall metal walls rose on both sides, the perfect place for an ambush. But Zahn's scanners showed nothing. No heat signatures, no movement. "Stay alert," Zahn ordered. "Something isn't right." As they reached the middle of the canyon, a small object rolled toward them. It looked harmless. "Scanner says it's nothing," a cadet reported. "Just a metal ball." The ball suddenly burst open, releasing a thick cloud of gray smoke. At the same time, the canyon floor began to shake. "Earthquake simulation," Zahn shouted. "Brace yourselves." In the smoke and confusion, Su Min and 3 other cadets from Kim's team appeared on the canyon walls above. They fired training darts with perfect accuracy, 5 more of Park's team went down, their armor locking into place. "Retreat," Zahn ordered. His remaining team members ran back the way they came. But the exit was now blocked by a wall of debris. In the command booth, Park slammed his fist on the console. How did they trigger the earthquake? That's a director-level command. In another part of the arena, Jilwoo sat with a small computer. The furry Centauri smiled as his 6 eyes watched the screen. "Earthquake sequence complete, Captain," he reported through his comm. "Their team is split up, just as you predicted." Zahn and his remaining cadets found another path. They moved more carefully now, checking every corner. "We still outnumber them," Zahn reminded his team. "And we're better fighters." They entered a forest section. Artificial trees provided cover. Zahn's scanner detected movement ahead. "There, 3 of them." Zahn pointed to heat signatures on his scanner. "Surround them." Park's cadets moved into position. When Zahn gave the signal, they charged into a small clearing. But they found only small heating devices attached to trees. No enemy cadets. "It's a trap," Zahn realized too late. From above, heavy nets dropped onto 4 more of Park's cadets. The specially weighted training nets tangled around them, setting off the sensors in their armor. 4 more eliminated. In the control room, Commander Park was furious. "This isn't real combat. It's trickery. It's effective, Yoon," he said quietly. On the battlefield, Zahn gathered his last 5 team members. They had started with 20 elite cadets. Now only 6 remained, including Zahn. "We need to reach their command center," Zahn said. "Forget hunting them down. We go straight for the objective." They moved quickly through the arena. Finally, they'd reached a small metal building. Kim's command center. "We've got them now," Zahn said with a smile. The building had 1 entrance and no windows. "Breach the door on my signal." In the command booth, Park leaned forward. Victory was close. 3, 2, 1. "Duriishish," Zahn shouted. Park's cadets blasted the door open and charged inside. They found an empty room with a single screen on the wall. The screen turned on, showing Captain Kim's face. "Hello, Zahn," Kim said with a small smile. "Looking for us?" Confused, Zahn looked around the empty command center. "Where are you?" "Where you should be," Kim replied. "In your command center." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the arena. A computerized voice announced, "Blue Team Command Center captured. Simulation complete. Red Team victory." The screen switched to show Hanji and the rest of Kim's team inside Park's command center. They waved at the camera. In the control booth, everyone stood in shock. Park's mouth hung open. "How?" the academy director began. He never defended his command center. Yoon, he realized. He sent most of his team to capture Park's base, while using a few cadets to distract Park's entire team. Park turned to look at the human officer. "Impossible. We would have detected them. Not if they were never where you were looking." "Yoon," he said. "That's what Kim meant about the perfect being the enemy of the good. Your team was so perfect, so by the book, they never considered the simplest solution." The day of the simulation arrived. The Academy's main training hall had been transformed into a massive battle arena. Hundreds of cadets and teachers filled the viewing stands. No one wanted to miss the match between Commander Park's elite team and Captain Kim's misfits. In the preparation room, Jun looked at his team. 20 cadets, once afraid and unsure, now stood tall. They wore simple gray training uniforms with no rank markers. "Remember the plan," Jun said. "They expect us to fight their way. We won't." Hanji stepped forward with a small device. "Sir, I finished the comm units. They'll work even if the main systems are jammed." "Good." Jun turned to Su Min. "Are the special packages ready?" The blue Altarian nodded. "Hidden exactly where you said, Captain." A bell rang. Time to enter the arena. As Kim's team walked out, the crowd grew quiet, then burst into laughter. Next to Park's team, They looked pathetic. Park's cadets were tall, strong, and wore gleaming armor with weapon attachments. They carried the best training weapons the Academy offered. Commander Park stood at the head of his team, massive and confident. He spoke to the crowd. "Today we will see which way of training is better. The Academy's proven methods." He gestured to his team. "Or Captain Kim's alternative approach." More laughter from the crowd. The Academy director, an ancient Elori with silver skin, explained the rules. The simulation will take place in multiple environments. The goal is simple: eliminate all members of the opposing team or capture their command center. Non-lethal weapons only. Kim's team looked nervous as the director continued. As agreed, Commander Park has modified the simulation to include extra challenges, battle droids, shifting terrain, and environmental hazards. The director looked at Jun. "Captain Kim, do you still accept these terms?" "We do," Jun said simply. The crowd murmured. Most thought Kim was either brave or foolish. "Then enter your starting positions." The two teams moved to opposite ends of the arena. Large metal walls rose from the floor, creating a complex battlefield that neither team could fully see across. Simulation begins in 3, 2, 1. Start. Immediately, Park's team charged forward in perfect formation. They moved as one powerful unit, just as they had been trained. Their heavy footsteps echoed through the arena. Kim's team did something strange. They scattered. Each cadet ran in a different direction, small and quick. In the control booth above the arena, Medical Officer Yoon, he watched with concern. "What are they doing? They need to stay together to have any chance." The Academy director frowned. "An odd strategy. Commander Park's team will pick them off one by one." On the battlefield, Park's team advanced quickly. They secured the central area and set up defensive positions. Their leader, a tall Drakari named Senior Cadet Zahn, directed them with hand signals. "Spread out and find them. Teams of 3. No one goes alone," Zahn ordered. The elite cadets moved through the arena, weapons ready. They found nothing. No sign of Kim's team. In the stands, the crowd grew restless. Where was the battle? Suddenly, the arena lights flickered, then went out completely. "What's happening?" the director demanded. "Power fluctuation in Section 3, a technician replied. "Backup systems activating." When the lights came back on seconds later, 2 of Park's cadets were down, hit by training darts that left their armor locked in place. They couldn't move or fight anymore. "Who got them?" Zahn demanded through his comm. "Report." No one had seen the attackers. In a hidden corner of the arena, Captain Kim and Hanji monitored the battle through a small screen. The other cadets reported in through their secret comm units. "Phase 1 complete," Su Min's voice said. "Moving to Phase 2. Kim nodded to Hanji. "Just like we planned. They're strong, but predictable." In the control booth, the director looked confused. "They're using hit-and-run tactics. Primitive." Yoon-hee smiled slightly. "Not primitive. Human." Down on the battlefield, Park's team was getting angry. They had lost 2 members but hadn't even seen the enemy. Senior Cadet Zahn gathered his remaining teammates. "New plan. We force them out. Full advance to their command center." Park's elite team moved together toward the far end of the arena. Their heavy steps shook the ground. Their weapons were ready. They looked unstoppable. But Kim's team was nowhere to be found. Jin Su walked quickly through the empty hallway. The slim cadet with pale green skin looked over his shoulder to make sure no one was following. It was late. Most cadets were sleeping. He stopped at a door and knocked 3 times, then twice more. "Enter," said a deep voice. Jin Su stepped into Commander Park's private office. The Cronus warrior sat behind a large desk, his 4 yellow eyes glowing in the dim light. "Report," Park ordered. "Captain Kim's training methods remain unusual, sir," Jin Su said. Today they practiced moving silently. Yesterday they built traps from common items. Park frowned. Combat training. Weapon drills. Almost none, sir. They run to build stamina. They study Earth history. But formal combat training? Very little. Interesting. Park leaned back in his chair. And what do the cadets think? Jin Soo hesitated. At first, they thought it was stupid. Now, they're starting to believe in Captain Kim's methods. This wasn't what Park wanted to hear. Explain. He doesn't try to make them into something they're not. The rock cadet dull. Too slow for standard combat. So Kim taught him to be a living barrier, to protect faster teammates. Park grunted. And the human boy. Hanji. He's different now. Kim has him planning their strategies based on old Earth battles. Park stood and walked to the window. Outside, the Academy's 3 moons lit up the night sky. Continue watching them. Report anything new. Yes, sir. Jin Soo paused. Sir, may I ask a question? Speak. Why did you choose me for this? I'm not in Kim's team. I have to sneak in to watch their training. Park turned to face the cadet. Because you're smart, and because you hate humans. Jin Soo looked away. My family died when humans failed to protect our colony. Exactly. You won't be fooled by Kim's words. After Jin Soo left, Park sat thinking. The humans' strange methods worried him a little. Park had expected Kim to try the same training as everyone else and fail. This was different. Meanwhile, Jin Soo didn't go back to his room. Instead, he went to a small training room. Inside, he found Kim's team still working despite the late hour. Jin Soo, Hanji called out. You're late. The green cadet nodded and joined the group. Sorry, I had to report to Park first. Soo-min laughed. What did you tell our dear commander? Exactly what Captain Kim told me to say, Jin Soo replied. That we're training in strange ways. That we're starting to believe it might work. Hanji spread out a map on the table. Did he believe you? Yes, but he's worried. Jin Soo had been playing a dangerous game for days now. Officially, he was Park's spy. But after watching Kim's training, after seeing how the human captain valued each cadet's unique abilities, Jin Soo had switched sides. Now he was a double agent. He told Park half-truths while bringing valuable information back to Kim's team. Captain Kim knew Park would plant a spy, Jil Woo said, blinking his 6 eyes. But he didn't expect the spy to join us. Jin Soo looked down. I didn't expect it either. I hated humans. I blamed them for my family's death. What changed? Duel asked. I watched Captain Kim. He doesn't try to be Cronus strong or Vex fast. He uses human strengths. It made me think about my own people's strengths. The door opened and Captain Kim walked in. The team straightened up. Good news? Kim asked Jin Soo. Yes, sir. Commander Park believes exactly what we want him to believe. Kim nodded. Good. Now, the real test comes tomorrow. What happens tomorrow? Soo-min asked. Commander Park will change the simulation parameters. He'll try to surprise us with new challenges. How do you know? Jil Woo asked. Because that's what I would do, Kim answered. And because Jin Soo told us Park requested changes 3 days ago. Hanji looked worried. Can we handle new challenges? We've trained for specific scenarios. Kim smiled. We've trained to adapt. That's the human way. Outside in the shadows of the hallway, a figure listened. Medical Officer Yoon. He smiled to herself and whispered, Clever human. 5 days had passed since Captain Jun Kim met his team. 5 days of strange training that made no sense to the cadets. While other teams practiced direct combat in the main training halls, Jun's team met in small, unused rooms. They studied maps. They watched old battle videos from Earth. They talked about wars fought thousands of years ago by humans who had never even seen the stars. This is stupid, Soo-min said on the 5th day. The blue Altarian paced around the room. We should be learning to fight, not watching ancient humans run around with metal sticks. Those metal sticks are called spears, Hanji said quietly. The human cadet had started to speak up more. And those ancient humans defeated an army 3 times their size. How does that help us? Asked the rock-skinned cadet named Dole. I can barely move fast enough to hit anything. Captain Kim, who had been quietly watching from the corner, finally stood up. That's exactly the point, Cadet Dole. The Academy wants you to move faster, to hit harder, to be something you're not. Isn't that the goal of training? Gilwu asked, blinking his 6 eyes in confusion. No, Jum said firmly. The goal of training is to win, and to survive. He walked to the center of the room. The Academy teaches one way to fight, the way that works for the strongest species, but humans have never been the strongest. Hanji looked down, embarrassed by this truth. On Earth, Jum continued, humans fought bigger, stronger animals. Later, we fought each other. Some armies were bigger, some had better weapons, but the winners weren't always the strongest. They were the smartest. Gilwu suggested. Sometimes, but mainly, they were the most adaptable. Jum tapped his head. Humans learned to change our tactics based on our enemy, on the environment, on what resources we had. Su Min crossed her arms. Nice story, but Commander Park's team will still crush us. Their 3rd years with combat experience. Experience in what? June asked. In fighting exactly how they were taught to fight. They expect us to do the same. For the first time, the cadets looked interested. So we don't fight like they expect? Hanji asked. Exactly. Jun smiled. Today, we start the real training. He led them to a new room with various objects scattered around. Ropes, boxes, small devices. What's all this? Duel asked. Tools, Jun replied. Not weapons. In the simulation, we'll have standard training weapons. But today, I want you to think about how to use these normal items in unexpected ways. Yilwu picked up a small fan. This could blow dust to block vision. Good, Jum said. What else? Slowly, the cadets began to see possibilities. A rope wasn't just for climbing. A light wasn't just for seeing. Later that day, Medical Officer Yoon, he found Jun in the staff room reviewing his notes. Your methods are causing talk, she said. The other instructors are laughing. They say you're teaching games, not combat. Let them laugh, Jun replied. Park's team trains 15 hours a day. Combat drills, strength exercises, tactical simulations. Jun nodded. I know. I've been watching them. Yoon, he looked surprised. You have spies? No, I just pay attention. Park runs the same drills every day. His team is strong, but predictable. And your team is learning to be unpredictable. Jun showed her his notes. Each cadet has skills the academy doesn't value. Su Min thinks outside rules. Gilwu sees patterns. Duel is patient and steady. And the human boy, Hanji. Jun smiled. He remembers everything he reads. Every battle, every strategy. He just needed confidence. Yoon-hee shook her head. It's still 20 failing cadets against Park's elite team. Yes, Jun agreed. They won't see us coming. Outside the window, they could see Commander Park drilling his team. The powerful aliens moved with perfect precision, like machines. Humans have a saying, Jun said quietly. The perfect is the enemy of the good. What does that mean? Yoon-hee asked. It means sometimes being too perfect makes you blind to simple solutions. Jun closed his notebook. And simple solutions are often the best. The day before the simulation, tension filled the academy. Cadets and teachers whispered in hallways. Everyone knew about the challenge between Commander Park and Captain Kim. No one gave Kim's team any chance of winning. That evening, Captain Jun Kim sat alone in the officers' lounge. He was reviewing his final plans when a shadow fell across his table. Captain Kim. Commander Park's deep voice rumbled through the room. Enjoying your last peaceful night. The Cronus warrior sat down without waiting for an invitation. His massive body made the chair look small. He carried a bottle of blue liquid and 2 glasses. I thought we might have a drink, Park said. A tradition before battle on my world. June nodded. We have similar traditions on Earth. Park poured the drinks. His yellow eyes never left June's face. Your cadets have trained hard, Park said. But training can only do so much. Some beings are naturally superior. Superior at what? June asked calmly. At warfare. At survival. Park took a long drink. The Cronus have won wars across 12 star systems. Our strength is legendary. Strength is valuable, June agreed. But it's just one tool. Park laughed. A necessary tool. Without it, all the clever plans in the galaxy won't save you. Have you heard of Thermopylae? June asked. Park's 4 eyes blinked in confusion. No. It was a battle on Earth, thousands of years ago. 300 Spartan warriors held off a Persian army of over 100,000 soldiers. They won through strength, Park asked. No, they lost. Every Spartan died. June took a sip of his drink, but they fought in a narrow mountain pass where the Persians' greater numbers meant nothing. They used the terrain. They used better training. They held for 3 days against impossible odds. Park frowned. A noble defeat is still a defeat. True, but the Persians eventually lost the war. They were stronger. They had more soldiers. But they were overconfident. Park's eyes narrowed. You think I'm overconfident? I think everyone has weaknesses, even the Cronus. Park stood suddenly, his massive frame towering over June. Tomorrow, you will learn the difference between clever words and real power. As Park turned to leave, June spoke again. One last thing, Commander. Park paused. Thank you for changing the simulation parameters. It gave my team something interesting to prepare for. Park's eyes widened slightly. How did you? He stopped himself. It doesn't matter. No amount of preparation will help your team of misfits. After Park left, Medical Officer Yoon he emerged from a corner of the lounge. That was dangerous, she said, sitting across from June. Angering him before the simulation. Not anger, June corrected. Doubt. Now he wonders what else I might know. Yoon he looked concerned. I heard rumors about the changes to the simulation. They're extreme, June. Multiple environments. Advanced enemies. Even some illegal battle droids. I expected as much. How can your team possibly win? Even with all your unusual training, they're still first years against third years. Park's team has the best scores in Academy history. June smiled slightly. The most dangerous enemy isn't the strongest one. It's the one you don't understand. And Park doesn't understand humans. Few non-humans do. June finished his drink. Humans look weak. We're not as strong as Cronus, as fast as Vex, as smart as Elori. So everyone thinks we're average. Aren't you? No. We're survivors. On Earth, humans weren't the strongest species, or the fastest. But we're still there. The others aren't. Yoon-hee studied June's face. You really believe you can win tomorrow? I do. June stood up. Now I need to see my team. It's our tradition to tell stories the night before battle. What kind of stories? Stories of underdogs, of the small defeating the mighty. Humans have many such tales. June smiled. We've had lots of practice. Captain Jum Kim stood in the small training room, looking at the 20 cadets in front of him. They were a sorry sight. Some couldn't stand straight. Others looked half asleep. 2 were arguing in the back. These were the bottom 20 first-year cadets at the Galactic Academy. The ones no teacher wanted. The ones everyone expected to fail. Attention, Jun said sharply. A few cadets straightened up. Most didn't bother. I am Captain Kim. I will be leading you in the midterm training exercise. A tall, thin cadet with blue skin laughed. Against Commander Park's team. We're going to die. Not die, said a short, furry cadet. Just lose very badly. June looked at each cadet carefully. What's your name? He asked the blue one. Su Min, she replied. From Alteria. And I'm only here because the academy was better than prison. June nodded. At least you're honest. And you? He pointed to the furry cadet. Gil Wu, sir. Zentari engineering student. The cadet blinked 6 eyes nervously. I'm too slow for combat. My reaction time is 0.3 seconds below standard. I see. June walked through the group, learning each name. Most had similar stories. They were too slow, too weak, too scared, or too rebellious. At the back, June found a human cadet trying to hide behind taller aliens. Another human, Jum said with surprise. What's your name, cadet? Hanji, sir, the boy said quietly. He looked young, maybe 19 Earth years. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Why would you disappoint me? Hanji looked down. I'm the worst human in the academy. I can't fight. I can't run fast. I panic in simulations. Su Min laughed again. He cried during basic training. The Drakari instructor made him clean the bathrooms for a week. Hanji's face turned red. Jun saw other cadets smirking. That's enough, Jun said firmly. From now on, you are a team. My team. We're not a team, said a large, rock-skinned cadet. We're leftovers. No one wants us. I want you, Jun replied simply. This surprised the cadets into silence. Why? Asked Su Min. You know we'll lose. I don't know that at all, Jun said. He walked to the center of the room. Each of you is here for a reason. You don't fit the academy's idea of a perfect cadet. Good. Gil Wu raised a furry hand. Sir, I don't understand. The academy trains warriors one way. The way that works for Cronus, or Vex, or Drakari. But there are many ways to fight. Many ways to win. The cadets looked confused but interested. You, Jun pointed to Su Min. You're rebellious. You question orders. In the academy, that's bad. In real battle, that can save lives. He turned to Gil Wu. You're slow in combat, but I bet you see patterns others miss. Gil Wu blinked in surprise. Well, yes. I can calculate trajectory paths and predict movement, but by the time I react. What if you didn't need to react? What if others did that for you? Jun continued around the room, finding something valuable in each cadet that the academy had missed. When he reached Hanji, the human boy still wouldn't meet his eyes. And you, Cadet Han, what are you good at? Nothing, sir. Everyone is good at something. Think. Hanji thought for a moment. I like to study old Earth battles. For fun. Excellent, Jun said. Those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it. As Jun finished speaking, the door opened. Medical Officer Yoon he walked in, carrying a large case. Captain Kim, I thought you might need medical supplies for your team. Her eyes widened as she looked at the cadets. She pulled Jun aside. These are your picks, she whispered. The rock cadet can barely move in gravity. The Altarian girl has been in detention 6 times, and that human boy is exactly who I need, Jun finished. They all are. Yoon-hee shook her head. Park is watching you. He's already planning how to crush your team. Jun smiled. Good. Let him plan for a normal fight. We won't be giving him one.